Taliban close in on Kabul as US scramble to evacuate from Afghan capital. The Afghan Taliban tightened their territorial stronghold around Kabul on Saturday as refugees from the insurgents' relentless offensive flooded the capital and US Marines returned to oversee emergency evacuation. With the country's second and third largest cities Kandahar and Herat having fallen into Taliban hands, Kabul has become the besieged last stand for government forces who have offered little or no resistance elsewhere. Insurgent fighters are now camped just 50 kilometers away from the capital, leaving the US and other countries scrambling to airlift their nationals out of Kabul ahead of a feared all-out assault. Pentagon spokesman Kirby said at a briefing, clearly from their action, it appears as if they are trying to get Kabul isolated. US embassy staff were ordered to begin shredding and burning sensitive material as from a planned redevelopment of 3,000 American troops started arriving to secure the airport and oversee the evacuations. Kirby said elements of a battalion were now in Kabul, the vanguard of three Marine and Army battalions that the US was sending to the city by the end of the weekend to help more Americans and their Afghan colleagues get out quickly. A host of European countries, including Britain, Germany, Denmark, and Spain, all announced the withdrawal of personnel from their respective embassy on Friday. For Kabul residents and the tens of thousands who have sought refuge there in recent weeks, the overwhelming mood was one of confusion and fear of what lies ahead. One resident, Khairuddin Logari, told AFP, "We don't know what is going on." UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he was deeply disturbed by accounts of poor treatment of women in areas seized by the Taliban, who imposed an ultra-austere brand of Islam on Afghanistan during their 1996-2001 rules. Guterres said it is particularly horrifying and heartbreaking to see reports of the hard-won right of Afghan girls and women being raped away. The scale and speed of the Taliban advance has shocked Afghan and the US-led alliance that poured billions into the country after toppling the Taliban in the wake of the September 11 attacks nearly 20 years ago. Individual soldier units and even whole divisions of Afghan troops have surrendered ahead of US President Joe Biden's August 31 deadline for complete US withdrawal, handing insurgents even more vehicles and military hardware to fuel their lightning advance. Despite the frantic evacuations effort, the Biden administration continues to insist that a complete Taliban takeover is not inevitable. Kirby said on Friday Kabul is not right now in an imminent threat environment. The Pentagon spokesman reiterated the Biden administration asserted that Afghan security forces have tangible advantages over the insurgents, including a viable air force and superior numbers, suggesting that Afghan forces lack the motivation to fight against what seems like the Taliban decisive momentum. A professor of international and public affairs at Columbia University told AP that the announcement that 3,000 US troops would go to the Kabul to pull out American diplomats and embassy staff likely made Afghan morale even worse. Biden said the message that sent to Afghan is the city of Kabul is going to fall so fast that we can't organize an orderly withdrawal from the embassy. This suggests to Afghan that the Americans see little future. Case could be tossed within hours.